Hello, my progressors. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate your company. Even if it's after the event, that's fine, as long as you drop a comment and say hello. I really much like reading your comments. And as always, I answer every single comment. So thank you for participating in my chats one way or another. Let's begin how I normally begin my Wednesday lives by looking at what my emotions, personality, character, feelings are today. So I'm going to go through my little, yes, it did change in the last half hour or so, sadly. Let's see. Let's go hopeful that it wasn't a mistake. Yes, you know who you are. So hopeful. We just keep being positive and hopeful. It could be hopeful things will change. It would be hopeful that things weren't meant as they were. Or it could just be hopeful there's always tomorrow. So be hopeful for the rest of the day. Who knows where it may lead. So that's the feeling of today. Feeling? I don't know. Now, you'll see the title. Maybe you saw the title. Who knows? Sometimes I title my lives and sometimes I don't. Maybe if I kind of think what I might be doing, then I'm trying to put them in. Sometimes these Wednesday lives are just chit-chat and a bit random, so I don't always know till I start chatting or we suddenly go on to a subject. But I was sorting out some bits and pieces, keepsy paperwork and things. It was actually Mike was looking for a file of facts. Yes, we were the era when file of facts first came out. Now, mine's a bit different. I like them because you can get your own segments. You can actually buy all the different types of innards and make up your own file of facts. It was much bigger, but this is all what I have left in it. They can be just as big notebooks. I don't know. I think you can still get them because we can still get them here. You can have like notebook, note paper, addresses, all sort of tabs you can buy and all sorts of paper, squared paper, all sorts of things. This one I've got left just really the note paper. I've got a calendar. It's no year, but I just write birthdays in it of friends and family. So I've got like 1 year and it hasn't got the days of the number. So I've got that. And that's all I've got now in there. And I don't carry this around with me. I've got the conversion from English sides, shoes and clothes to European, because obviously that's what they use in Cyprus. As I say, don't carry it round. And then I've got kind of this bit for cards. I don't have any cards. There's a pen holder in my one. You can see why I bought this originally many years ago when they first came out. You've got a pursey bit that I didn't use as a purse. I just put everything in that I needed to hang on to, and a little slit here. And Mike said, no, I want one that's just kind of the book, not all the pursey bit and all that, because he wants to do something for me so I know what's what, basically. He wants to put in PIN numbers, codes, these kind of things. So he wants to make a little book up for me. Then I found a bit of paper inside. I flashed it because there might be people's names. In fact, there are people's names. And it's a quick synopsis of the calendar of birthday. So it's one sheet to look at. Date I started something. And on the other side is all the Cypriot main holiday dates. So this is where I first came out, basically. I wrote all those down. So I'm keeping that in there. I am getting on to what the amazing thing was I found out. And then in this little bit, I have been through it, so I know what's in here, but I'll show you what I found in here. There's a card. Now, I got this in an arcade. It was one of these fortune telling things. And I obviously kept it because it meant something. I know it's not real. It says you had to do something to the machine and it read your mind or your palm or something. And it says you have the capability required to make life a success. Develop them and you'll succeed beyond your expectations. Think high. You have great talents. The reason I struggled there is the writing is quite hard to read. So obviously I just kept that. I like quotes and sayings and positive sayings and all that. So of course I kept that. Then I found 2 photographs. This was when me and Mike started dating. You might like to see that. Let me just change the lighting because I've got it on disco at the moment. That's probably not the best to show you anything. No, we don't want that sort of disco. Hold on. There we go, white light. I need to turn it down a bit. I was really ill yesterday. So I just need to keep things calm today. Yeah, so this is me and Mike dating. Do you think we look younger? Mike definitely looks younger. Well, I do. I'm just aging quickly, but yeah. Aren't we sweet? Look. And I remember, I know where that was. That was in Wimbledon. And we were definitely continuing dating. And I saw Boo. It was like kids again dating. It was really fun. And I said, can we go in the photo booth? There was one there. And he was like, oh, okay. I'm so glad we did. That's like our dating picture. And we have a big one of this. You had, I think, 4 little ones and 1 bigger one. And we have that in our bedroom. I think it's that one we have in our bedroom. And then I have this one, which obviously we're mature here. I quite like that one. That was before we came out here. So, yeah. I don't mind that picture of me. I think that one's all right. I look grown up. So let's put those both together side by side. So you've got the dating picture and the before we came to Cyprus picture. Oh, I've got itchy nose. So yeah. Yeah, I like this one of me. I like that one. Not often I get pictures I like of me. And then obviously I came out here a month before Mike because he had to finish up work and I thought I'd come here and set things up here and he closed things down there, so to speak, and did his, I've got a terrible itchy nose. It's because I'm sweating, I've got sweat running down. And he gave me a little bear when I was leaving. So I had the bear with me. And this, it says to my girlfriend, the love we share, my darling, is precious gift indeed. And in my heart I know you give me everything I need. The love that shines within your eyes each time you look at me, the thoughtful, caring things you do have all helped me to see that in all the ups and downs of life, one thing I know is true. I'm so very lucky to be loved by a wonderful person like you. He didn't write that, he just gave it to me. But he has written me a poem once. I think it was at our first anniversary. And I can't read it to you. It's a bit naughty at the end, which is very surprising for Mike. But it's lovely. It's romantic, but and then I have this, he let me have it. You know, he's an aircraft engineer of original planes. He's done jumbo jets and all things as well, but mostly it was vintage planes he put back to flying when he was a little boy. That's his bedroom when he was about 6. So he let me have that. I think that's lovely. Beautiful. So there's that. Now let's get on to the title of this video. I want to put the little pictures at the top. Put them up the top. Yeah, so the title of this video, I can't remember quite what I put, but it's something amazing I found out, amazing to me. I found the cat's information. Now, I have 4 cats. The last 2 are that we've got more recently are the boys, Mr. Colin Waffles and Kit, and they've just turned up. We do know where Colin Waffles came from. That's a whole video and another story, but literally they just arrived here. Fossil we got from the cat sanctuary, and we have the paperwork when we got her from the cat sanctuary, and there's the date we got her from the cat sanctuary. Now, I don't remember how old she was when we got her. She wasn't a baby kitten, but they did say she was born there. I think she was a young cat, but she wasn't like a kitten. So you've got to add a bit more onto the date we got her. And it says the date we got her was the 15th of July, 08. 15th of July, 08. And that makes her at least 15. Now let's add a few more years onto that. 2, 3, I don't know. I haven't got her actual birth date, which I would have thought the sanctuary would have had, but we don't have that information. So she's at least 15. Well, she's more than 15 because she wasn't a kitten. What age, if any of you know kittens, what age are they like sort of normal cat size? If you know, that might give us a little bit of a gauge. But she is more than 15 plus whatever age it is that she wouldn't look like a kitten. And I was like, oh my goodness, she's quite an old girl. And then I was like, hold on a minute. We had Pebbles quite a bit before. She was rescued from Dusudi Beach. Now, I've just been editing today some footage of Dusudi Beach because I promised you I'd show you more beaches in Cyprus. So it's edited, and I've added the beginning of that to show you Pebbles. And we called her Pebbles because she came from Dusudi Beach. We rescued her. So I've got her in the video as well, and show you all the pebbles on Dusudi Beach, so you can see why we called her Pebbles, because of the colouring. So it's a video coming up of Dusudi Beach. You can see what's there and what it looks like. That being said, I found a health book for her because when we rescued her, it was other people told us she was there. They had, it was actually our estate agents and their business backed on to Dusudi Beach, and they kept feeding the stray cats there. And they were saying when they sold us this house, they said, do you want a cat? Because they said, there's this beautiful cat there. We keep feeding her. There's no way she's a stray. She's been dumped there because she's so shy and quiet. She's not feral at all. So they said, well, we take her. And she seemed to be quite scared there. There was some digging work going on at the time. And they said, would you take her? And we said, well, if you're sure she's definitely dumped there, she doesn't belong to anyone. And they said, no. So we took her. So we've rescued Pebbles from Dusudi Beach. Now, again, she wasn't a kitten when we got her. We took her to the vet, obviously, to get all her tests, make sure she was all done. And it's quite good because she's a tortoise shell. Now, I wasn't sure if that was a breed or what, but it says here her colour is tortoise shell. Her breed is European short hair, I think that says. European short hair. Now, he didn't age her. He put the date of when we took her into the vet. So bear in mind she wasn't a kitten. And it says 2005. Now, from 2005, that makes her 18. And as I say, she wasn't a kitten. So I had what, at least 2 years? She's an old baby. And I always go, oh, little baby. And because we've got, so Fossil and Pebbles are girls, and Mr. Colin Waffles and Kit are boys. And because Mr. Colin Waffles is quite big, he's like a giant cat, they're all lumbering along. He makes Fossil and Pebbles look quite diddy. Oh, so that is my amazing thing for me that I found out. I didn't realise how old they were. So I don't know age of a cat. I think Well, I don't know. I think they're both doing pretty well personally. So what's the oldest cat you know of? So as I say, Pebbles is at least 18. She wasn't born the day we got her. So I think that's pretty old for a cat. 19, I think, is a very good age for a cat. It's like, wow, that's a good age. So, so yeah, Pebble and Fossil. So now I'm being so gentle with the video. Oh, my darling. Pebble's like, does this little grunt when she wants food, and she's been eating, kind of, she eats a bit. She's never been a big eater. She likes to come back later and have a bit more. We can't leave it out. It's dried food, but we still wouldn't leave it out. When she comes back, she makes this sort of a noise and we put it down, and Mike keeps saying, don't pander to her, she's got to eat a bit more, sort of, not whenever. But I said, well, she's an old girl, perhaps, you know, she's never been a big eater and she'll only eat when she's hungry. So she's not a cat that would take food or, but I said, oh no, we got to pander to her now. So that was my amazing news for me. I hope you've found that quite interesting and wow. As I say, let me know in the comments the oldest cat you know of. And I don't know average age. I'm thinking 19 is an extremely good age. So 15 to 19. So to me, there, we're over the brink. So fingers crossed, because I love my babies. And the other thing I've been doing, busy today, is I finally did my curtains here. Let's look, we're a bit out because I've been fiddling with the curtains. Ooh, there. There. If you know, I put the fan on recently and they all just blow everywhere and all go across and tangled up, and now I've got my friendship tree here. If you don't know what that is, you have to check out my Friday lives on my other channel, and my other channel's linked below, along with my email, my address, anything you might need is always linked below my lives. And because they blew about, I haven't put my fan on since. Hence all my lives recently, you've seen me sweating like anything. Hey, Cruiser's fun anytime. Nice to see you again. So what I wanted to do was I had some invisible thread. I had it for shows when I did professional stage shows and that. You always have invisible thread. And I wanted to put it along the curtains. Now, this is, I say, a fake wall. It's it's our hallway wall, but it's only like thin stuff. It's a dividing wall. So I can't do anything much on it. So I thought I could put drawing pins in and put my invisible thread round and along, and just maybe 3 sort of places, sort of middle and bottom, just so it would all stay. So if I put my fan on, which I'm going to in a minute to see if it works, I thought then it will hold it all down. It might blow a little bit, but it's not going to go all everywhere. So I looked everywhere for my invisible thread, but I couldn't see it anywhere. I couldn't see it anywhere. No, really, I couldn't. So I must have used the last lot up with the last performance we did and just used it up. So Mike said he had some fishing wire. Now that's thicker. Hey, Janice Adventures. Nice to see you here. Thank you for coming over. So Mike had some fishing wire. So I thought, well, that'll do. And I've had trouble with it, trying to get that done this afternoon so I can put my fan on. So I've put that along. And fingers crossed, let's see if it works. As I say, it probably still blow once the fan gets going. So the fan's on now. So yes, there's a movement, but look, it's not all going everywhere. Oh, that's better, isn't it? So now, yes, that's not too bad, is it? That's not too bad at all. That's funny, this bit's still. Ah, that bit is caught on the fishing wire. That's why. I could squeeze it. Yes, I think if I squeezed it a bit more to the wall, maybe if I put another pin in the middle, that would stop it moving at all. Yes, So that's not bad then, is it? Not bad. I just wanted to try. Oh, thanks for that, JNS Adventures. Thank you very much. Thank you. So that was my news about my cats. Let me know in the comments below if your cats, or you've known any cats that are older than my cats that I've now worked out with their documentation. I was astounded. I was absolutely astounded of their age. What other news? Well, I've been on the auction site again. It's every 2 weeks here, the auction. And, you know, I bought all that cross-stitch stuff. And I've just posted the last video of the cross-stitch haul. And I wanted to know when it's all added together. I got 2 lots in the end. And because a lot of the stuff was crossover, it was one person selling it, but they'd split some of the items up over 2 lots. So you needed both lots to have some sets. So the video that's posted up today shows you all of it together, and after I'd cross-referenced it all, and let me know if you think I got my money's worth out of that. I've been on the site today and I've been in 2 minds whether to put bids in. It's on Saturday, whether to put bids in. There's 2 lots I'm interested in. One is books. And I'm always interested in, you know, birds, animals, wildlife. And they've got 4 books, but they say British, but at least I'll know what some types are. One is butterflies, one is birds, one's wildflowers. I'm sure there were 4. It wasn't insects. I think there were 4. And also, with that, there's a book on Greek dances. Unfortunately, they don't show you a picture inside that, but it looks very old, but hey, so I'm interested in that. And then the other book looked really dog-eared and worn out, but it was Cyprus birds. Now, I've got an app on Cyprus birds, but I like a book. So all of that together, they've got up lowest bid at the moment, €10. So I'm contemplating that. The 4 British books look like they could be quite thick because they've got a side picture of them. So I might go for that. I'll see if they allow a lower bid because I really don't have money for that. Sometimes it's all online now, the bids, since the pandemic, and they've never gone back to not being online. So sometimes he says, oh, I can take a lower offer. And sometimes he said, I can't go lower. So I might bid on that. The other lot is again books. You know, I love books. And there's, how many books? I'm guessing about 20 books in one lot. And I only want half a dozen of them. Half of them are different Shakespeare, actual books of Shakespeare. And, you know, at school, you have to, like, there's notes to help you about the books. There's a couple of books like that, notes of the Shakespeare books. I don't want any of those, but you can't take part of a lot, obviously. And the rest are, I've got a collection of this author, and it's all the shopaholic books. Now, I've got about 7 or 8 of these, and I haven't got all the set. And there are some in the auction that I have got, but there's, I think I worked out 6 that I haven't got in this set. Now, plus all the Shakespeare books that I don't want, the 6 I have got, or no, there's more than 6 I have got, but there's 6 I haven't got. All of that is €10 again, €10. They tend to sell piles of books as €10 groups of books. So I thought, is that worth it? There's only 6 books I want out of all of that. So I looked at mine. This is a bigger version, but the normal size version that I've got of these are $6.99. Now I want 6 books. Yes, I think that's worth €10 then. And then what I will do is all the books I don't want, put back in the auction another time with other books. You know, if I read a book and it was okay, I don't want them. I give them to my guests and my volunteers if they want them when they come here. So what I would do is probably make a set up and put them back in the auction. And then I might get my 6 books for free. The only thing is, as I say, they sell piles of books for €10, but obviously there's a selling fee, so I won't get €10 if I give them a pile of books. But hey, maybe I'll give them 2 lots of books. We'll see. So in that respect, I should, if I win the lot, I might not win the lot, but I can't see who'd be bothered like me. They either want the Shakespeare one or they want these. These are real chick flick books, and I like a good chick flick in between some of my historical books I like to read or harder reading type books. I'll then dip into this type of book. So I can't see anyone wanting all of those books. They might do exactly what I've done and say, not sure about that. I don't want all that. No, I won't bother. And as I say, if you're collecting a series of books, the odds are you've got a lot of them anyway. But as I say, I've looked at the price on the back of the normal size. They're $6.99. I want 6 books. I'm paying €10. I think I might give it a go. So wish me luck. So that might be 2 auction lots. There was a big shelving unit there as well. It looked in very good condition. It's kind of like metal, very high, like an open bookshelf, and the metal goes round and down the other side, like that. And it's got probably 5 shelves, I'm not sure. Now, the edges are metal and the shelves look like pine, but it says fake wood. Well, that's okay, but what is it? Because I was thinking possibly for plants in the garden, but I want to know what that is. Is it wiped down sort of plastic formica type thing? That would be great. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. It looks in good condition. It's a case of getting it home because, as I say, we don't have a truck or anything like that. So I don't know. I'll see what Mike says. You might be able to unscrew it. Then we could possibly get in the car. But I'll see what Mike says about that. I just love shelves and units and things. I can always find a place for them. So I'm not sure about that one yet. That's a lot of spend. That's €10 as well. So I think that's probably worth it, but we'll see what Mike says. Okay, so that's my auction. And then I'll just show this again in case you did miss it, because I like to show my craft updates. And if you go back quite a lot of lives, I've gradually been showing you my rope basket I made out of an old bit of rope, and it's finished. So I want to show it again because if you've watched all the other lives and you missed the final show of it. So I just curled it round. I sewed all the bottom spiral. Look, you can see why I wanted to make something out of the rope. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Lovely colours. So I've sewed all this, and then I put skewers through the middle of each row as I spiraled them up. So the skewers are in between, so they're not inside or outside, the skewers. And then on the top, I was worried about all popping off at the end, so I put beads on the top. And one live, I had a selection of beads, and people on that live were helping me decide how to finish it off. So we've got the beads there, and cut the skewers off the bottom. They need a bit more sanding down, really, but they're okay. And then my volunteer helped me because I'm not able to use a glue gun. And I wanted her to just go around literally all the cracks and just glue gun it, and glue gun the beads on the top and a little blob on the bottom where the skewers finish. So if you missed the reveal of that, I have done a video on my other channel. My other channel is linked below if you don't know what it is. I haven't posted it yet, but I've done a video going through it. So if you're like, what are you talking about, Dawn? You'll see it on there. And I've explained a little bit, bits and pieces on there. You see it from the very beginning, me trying to figure out how I'm going to make it. This is very much like my paper baskets I make. Haven't got the best example here. I'll just take my camera lead out. It's not the best example, but it's how I make paper baskets. So just spiral round, glue it as you go. And it's hard. card. And then you can get nice patterns. I've made so many of these. I think there's a video of these as well on my other channel. So it's a great way to use up old bits of paper or card or whatever you want to use. And my other update on my crafts is my Flintstone bag I'm making. I designed the cross stitch and I drew it on square paper. I drew it on and now I'm cross stitching over. I've just got this grey to do and the rest of his arm. Yes, I've been busy. I've finished this side. I did Wilma's lips. I did his tongue, wasn't done. I did her hand, wasn't done. I'd previously finished the grey down here and I did her beads. So yeah, not much more to go of my cross stitch bag. This is showing you can cross stitch on literally anything you can cross stitch on. You don't need material that you can cross stitch. You just draw a picture, design on square paper, pin it on and away you go. And obviously whatever size squares you use will denote the size of the stitches. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that. I want to get this finished. I want to finish it off. So just hope I've got enough because I'm now not sure if I've got enough grey here and enough this colour here. So it uses up pretty quick on that. But you know me, I figured it out last time. So there we go. Now, by doing that, I didn't know what colour necklace Wilma wore. I was at odds with that. I thought, oh, does she wear... First of all, I thought white. I know she's got a white dress. And then I don't know why I had red in my head. Does she wear red? And then I was like, or was it green? Do you know what colour she uses? So, of course, now I have a grown-up phone, a proper phone. Wow, modern me. Now I have a phone. I've got an assistant. Oh, my assistant's overwork. My assistant's really overwork. So I asked my assistant, what colour necklace does Wilma of the Flintstones wear? And I asked the question, do you know? It's white. Oh, it's repeating it all.
These pictures should match.
Right, so it's white. Okay, so I did it white. But then I went down a rabbit hole because it then gave me all information on the Flintstones. Shush. 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 Hold on. Tell me about the Flintstones. So I opened up this rabbit hole.
1960 hyphenation point family hyphenate.
Yeah, so I opened up a rabbit hole of all things Flintstone. It was weird. And there were some really weird things. I had to be quiet for a minute because my assistant likes to think I'm talking to it all the time. It just told me such weird things, like all their middle names. And I know Pebbles married Bam Bam. I know that. I knew they had a child, but I didn't know what it was. So let me share some Flintstone info with you. The Flintstones were the modern Stone Age family residing in Bedrock. Fred Flintstone worked an unsatisfying quarry job, but returned home to lovely wife Wilma and eventually daughter Pebbles. Fred is a big fan of golf and bowling and also enjoyed bullying his neighbour Barney Rubble, while Barney's wife Betty was best friends with Wilma. During the show's run, Barney and Betty would adopt an unnaturally strong son, Bam Bam, who would become friends with little Pebbles. The Flintstones was inspired by the Honeymooners, convinced a generation of children that dinosaurs and humans occupied the planet at the same time. The creators were Joseph Barber and William Hanna. The first episode was September the 30th, 1960. There's some weird things. Oh, there's pictures of all the cast. Why does Barney not have a head? Why has Barney not got a head? Oh yeah, I remember him kept turning up. Now, I believe in America he had his own show. What was he? The Great Gazoo. Am I right in thinking that? Mr. Slate was the manager or owner of their thing. Oh, don't remember this character or that one. Don't remember those last three. Don't remember those at all. What else we got? This wasn't what I was on. Oh, it's literally every character that's in it. I did not ask for about a bank. Thank you very much. I did not ask about banks. Give me all bank details in Cyprus. No.
Sure. Here's what I found on the web.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Tell me about the Flintstones.
The Flintstones is a 1960 hyphenation point family hyphenation point 6 seasons that first aired in 1960 and stars Jean Vander Pyle, Mel Blanc, and Alan Reed.
Can't do that. Play the theme song. We obviously can't do that. About Wilma.
Here are some results.
Wilma is a fictional character. We know that. She's a redhead. What else? Oh, here we go. Who was Wilma Flintstone based on? She was based on Alice Cramden, married to Ralph Cramden, on the 1950s television series The Honeymooners. Much like Alice, Wilma plays a strong-willed, level-headed person in her marriage, often criticising Fred for pursuing his various ill-fated schemes. What's Wilma's middle name? Do you know? Wilma Anna Flintstone, nee Pebble or Slaghopple. It's a fictional character. Really? Is Bam Bam adopted? Bam Bam is adopted, the son of Betty and Barney Rubble. They found him left on the doorstep. After meeting his next-door neighbour Pebbles, he falls in love with her. What's Fred's full name? Oh, she knows. Do you know that? Frederick Joseph Fred W. Flintstone. Simply Fred Flintstone. Flintstones ran from 1960 to 1966. What's Barney Rubble's middle name? Bernard Matthew Barney Rubble is the next door neighbour, best friend of Fred. What's Betty's maiden name? McBricker. As for Betty Rubble, her maiden name was McBricker in the TV series, but it was changed to O'Shale for the 2000 live-action movie, The Flintstones in Viva Las Vegas, Rock Vegas. You might be interested in our biography. What else? What was the Flintstones' original last name? The original name of the series, in which a pilot was even made, was The Flagstones. When it was realised that the Hi and Louise character's surname was Flagstone, the name was changed. The name Gladstone was considered and actually appeared on a number of sketches before the final change to Flintstone. Oh, that's interesting. Why did they cancel the Flintstones? The Looney Tunes and Flintstones content was licensed to HBO Max from Warner Brothers under an intra-company deal. Those licensing agreements expired at the end of 2022, and HBO Max did not renew them as it sought to reduce content expense. How old is Wilma Flintstone? Wilma Flintstone is one of the main characters, the Flintstones. She is the wife of Fred, her daughter Pebbles, and Wilma is 43 years old. Wow. So some fun facts there. There's a few shots from the Flintstones. So if you want to know more, there's quite a lot of content there. As I say, there's some interesting things. I like when you know all the background, sort of things that don't even show up in some of these programs, and there's a whole backstory to cartoons. Hey, where to begin Homestead? Hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. And let's go on to game of the day. I've got a different game today. And this one is Let's Talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. So the first question is, you need to think back. What is the funniest thing that has happened to you? Ooh, if you want to answer, if you're in the chat, feel most welcome. What's the funniest thing that has happened to you? If you're watching this back later, I do love to see your answers to some of the questions as well. Funniest thing that's happened to me. Oh, this is a question that needs thinking about. What's the funniest thing that's happened to me? I can think of a bad thing. That's not funny at all. Funniest thing. Oh, that's a hard one. It's funny. I'm stumped. Not often do I get stumped by a question. I like to answer spontaneously. So when you see me do my Q&As, I film them, I write them and then put them away somewhere, and then I bring them out. And I give no thought to answers. I like to be spontaneous so you know what I can answer straight away and what I really have to think about. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you? I'm really stuck. Really stuck. Maybe I'll put that to side and do that in a Q&A, because I really can't think at all. There's bound to be something hilarious. I can't even think of anything at all now. That would be a Q&A. Okay. You know I'm going to get stumped now with all of them. Question. What did you spend your pocket money on as a child? Ah, good. I'm glad you're having trouble with that one as well. I think I'll do it as a Q&A. And what I do with my Q&As, I ask you to answer as well if you want to answer them. So you can make a video and I'll promote it or not. What did you spend your pocket money on as a child? Well, that's so easy to answer because I never got pocket money. So there we go. I never got pocket money. I never got pocket money. When we were going on holiday, when I was a child, and we were going on holiday, when you're old enough to have some like spending money, my mum used to get me to do like all the housework, and we always had to wash up and things like that anyway, but she got me to do all the ironing for the whole family. As I say, I always did the washing up anyway. I did ironing, basically anything and everything, and then she'd give me a little bit of spending money for the holiday. So that was it. Penny candy, but didn't have it very often. Oh, nice. We didn't need really sweet money because my nan, my grandma, who I've done her autobiography, she wrote her autobiography, and I've been reading it in small parts on my other channel, which is linked below, my other channel, and it's got its own playlist. With that, she used to come twice a week. Did she come twice a week? We went to her once a week. Oh, I think she came to us once a week and we went to her once a week. And both times she would bring us sweets. So my mum felt we didn't have needs to have sweets because Nan bought us twice a week sweets. So we didn't need sweets like that. Yeah, so no pocket money here. Okay, next question. What was the best time in your life? Oh, I've just recently put that up as a short. No doubt. I've always loved my birthdays as a child and my Christmas as a child and holidays as a child. But if I had to go to one time in my life and relive it again, it was the later days of when I was at stage school. It was in the era of Fame the TV program, Fame the movie, and we were living Fame. And I say in that show, yes, it's true. We did go and dance down the street. Fame is not fake in that respect. And I say in the short how there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken opposite, and me and my friends used to go across there in our break and buy stuff for lunch. And they had that metal bar where you queue and go round it to the counter. And while we were waiting, we would put our legs up on it and do belly stretches and all that. And we had the leg warmers on, you know. So that, and we were doing professional shows. I just love doing shows, performing in shows. And I love dancing. And I had a really tight group of friends there. We were living the dream. We really were. So to me, if I had to pick one time, that for me, my best time. Nice, you're lucky to have that twice a week. What sweets? Sweeties. My nan was, she always said, what did we like? We didn't go and choose it. She bought them. And if we got bored with something, then she'd say, tell me and I'll get something else. But she was a lady who, if she saw an advert of something new on TV, like a new biscuit or a new sweet, she would buy it to try it. So we often got to try something. And then she said, tell me if you like that, don't like it, or prefer what you had, and that kind of thing. So she used to buy as well those, I don't know if you guys know, in England, club biscuits. It's any of those sort of wafer biscuit things covered with chocolate, and you get like what they called a tea time pack, and you get 5 or 6 in a pack, and like wafer biscuits covered in chocolate, those kind of things. Club was I don't know if that was worldwide or just England. Club biscuit, they were much shorter. They had silver foil on and then like a wrapper, and they had different flavours. That was more biscuit inside, and you had an orange, peppermint, or mint, not peppermint, mint. There was a raisin one, I think. I disliked that. You've got a dark chocolate one, a white chocolate one, that kind of thing. So she bought those as well. And she'd always have a new type of that. So she'd always try the new stuff out. So that was nice. Okay, next question. Which one of your parents had the most influence on you? Oh, definitely my dad. My mum didn't work. And my dad was, you earn your own keep. If you wanted something, then my mum always said if you wanted something for Christmas or birthday, she would buy it the next year, as in you're not getting it. But if you still want it by the next year, then you can have it, which means you don't have the fads and the trends. So I think that was quite clever, really. And then, of course, if it was a fad or trend, then you didn't want it the next year. But if you truly wanted something, then you might get it the next year. I think that was quite clever, really. But yeah, my dad was a hard worker. He basically got me to do what I wanted to do in life. As I say, work for things, don't expect handout or. And my parents both said that the day you leave home, you're independent. So if you choose to leave home before you're married, that's up to you. But while you're under our roof, no matter what your age, You do what we say, when we say. You have to be in by 10 o'clock at night, no matter what your age. You respect the house rules. And my dad was strict, but kind. He wasn't like strict, you was like afraid of him, but you didn't do the wrong thing either. So yeah, basically my dad definitely had influence on me in my life. He taught me accountancy, which has seen me through my life, because most of my life I've been self-employed in one form or another. So I can do accountancy. I hate it. I hate paperwork, but I can do it. He didn't want me to ever pay somebody to do it, those kind of things. More parents need rules like that. Yeah, I mean, obviously as a teenager, and especially as you're older, you think, hold on, I'm an adult, but then go out and make your way. So yeah, he was very good in that sense. No longer with us. Next question. Have you had an ambition that you have never achieved? No. Basically, I'm somebody who, if I want to do something, I will do whatever it takes to get there in some shape or form. I'm not someone who says, I can't afford to do it. I will find a way to do it. I live life for today, particularly with my accident and my illnesses from that, my disabilities. If you don't do it today, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So never regret something. Give something a try at least. So yeah, never regretted. I've been around most of the world. There's still some countries and things I would have liked to have done, but I can no longer travel. So I don't have a passport now anyway. Can't afford one. But for health reasons, travelling is a big issue for me. And I was told when I said to my health people that I wanted to move to Cyprus, they said, be sure, because we can't set everything up for you to fly again, basically. So, yeah. So no, not regretted anything. Bad things have happened to me in several ways. I don't regret them at all, because I believe in fate. If those things hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have been here now. I wouldn't be here now in Cyprus or with Mike. So because of bad things, so no regrets. If I had to live through all my bad things again, knowing what I know now, I would do it with a smile on my face. So yes. Always, I know bad things happen to people all the time. If you take what I say, just think it's leading you to a great path. That's how I get through things. People say, how do you get on with your life? How all these bad things happen to you and all your disabilities. I'm here now. So there we go. Next one. Have you ever had a really treasured possession? I've got a few of my original teddy bears, which I've shown before. I mean, if something happened to them, it wouldn't be devastating. Treasured possession. My husband is my most treasured possession. He really is. So, have I had? Yes, I do have. I would say if I can only keep one thing in life, even if I lost my beautiful house and where I live, as long as I've got Mike. So yeah, that's my most treasured possession, no doubt. Material things, I won't share things with you, certain things, but basically everything got taken from me. And I mean absolutely everything. So to me now, possessions mean nothing. So no. Okay, next one. What is your earliest memory? I don't know, because sometimes you see photographs and then you don't know, was that your true memory? I have said this one before. This is my proof of memory that nobody remembered it except for me. And I'll tell you how I know it's true in a minute. That I remember my great grandma, and she died when I was about 3. So it must have been that age group. Well, she died when I was 3, so 2.5 maybe I was. And I remember she used to sit in my nan's kitchen, in my nan's old house, in her kitchen, near the kitchen door that kind of opened. So it was almost behind the kitchen door when it was open. And it was like this wooden stool, a very low stool. And I remember it, I can see it, this wooden stool. There's no pictures of this stool anywhere. And she used to sit on there and talk to my mum and my nan in my nan's kitchen while they were making dinner or whatever. And she used to have her legs sticking straight out because it was really low, and she had her legs sticking out straight, and she used to cuddle me with my back to her. So I remember her shoes perfectly well. I remember these shoes, and I remember this stool. Anyway, for years, I'd always said I remember this, and my mum didn't know, my nan didn't remember what this stool was or anything. And I'd been going on and on for years. And one day, very recently, my mum was a bit fed up with it, and she was talking about it to my uncle, my nan's son. And he said, "Oh, yes, I remember that. The shoe polish was kept in there." So he remembered it as well. And as I say, I can remember my great-grandma's shoes. I remember her face, but I don't remember much more about her. I have a photo of her, but you can't see her feet. So they are definitely true memories, thanks to my uncle. Oh, dear. Okay, next question. Does any scent or smell bring back a particular memory? Well, when I first knew Mike, he lived near West Wickham, if anyone knows West Wickham, and he lived in a really countrified area, really beautiful. It was like a little country lane, Pond Cottage Lane. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? But not far from him was a big high street. So you came out this like country lane, and there was like this big shopping high street. And before you even got there, you could smell it. It was a supermarket. I don't know if it was Sainsbury's or what. Might have been a Sainsbury's. And you could always smell they cooked in-house the bread and donuts. So that I always think of that there. So donuts and bread. I do like those cooking. My parents' house, when I lived there, I couldn't stand when my mum would cook bubble and squeak. Now, I believe that's something like you use up cabbage and potato and fry it, I think. I wouldn't eat it. I didn't like the smell. So that's a bad smell. Did it say a good smell? No. It just said any scent or smell bringing back a memory. So that's a bad smell. The other bad smell I remember from my childhood, now it's banned now. And again, apologise, I don't know if you know this word in other countries. But you used to have this black, like tar type paint that you could paint on wooden garden fences and gates. It was like thick black, like tar. And in England, it was called creosote. Forgive me if you do or don't know what that is. And that is now banned in England. I think it was already banned elsewhere. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. And that used to stink. It was like tar. It did smell like tar. And even today, if I walk through like where they're relaying a road with tarmac, I don't like that smell. So I remember, I think once a year my dad did it, and I wouldn't go out in the garden for ages until you just couldn't smell that anymore. So creosote, it was called. So that's two bad smells and one pleasant smell. Do you remember good smells as a child? My mum would make like a birthday cake. She wasn't really like a cake maker. So there wasn't like good cooking smells. Oh, let's say as well school dinners. Now, my mum always insisted, because she didn't work, I came home lunchtime for school dinners, which very few children did. I'd say 3 maybe. So I didn't like that because that was the socialising time. So, and I was quite a shy child at school, so I really should have stayed at school and made friends, because when you're in the class learning, you can't talk. And so the talking time, making friends, my mum had me out of there. But I used to love the smell of school dinners cooking. I just wanted to stay. Well, when I got to junior school, middle school, I kept saying there were clubs and I wanted to do the clubs. A lot of the time I wasn't doing any clubs at all, but I went to stay and have school dinners. I did chess club. Don't know if I did another club at all. I remember chess club, but most of the time I didn't do clubs, but I was doing clubs. And from that point onwards, I had school dinners, and I did like the smell of school dinners. I think it's one of those things, because I wasn't allowed to do it, I wanted to do school dinners, but I'm pretty sure a lot of children that had to do school dinners probably didn't want to do it. So when people go on about school dinners and it's nasty, to me, it's like, no, I liked it. So it was in the classroom smelling the school dinners. I think the only thing I didn't really like there was sometimes you had ice cream scoop of mashed potato. 9 times out of 10, it had big lumps in it that wasn't mashed up. But on the whole, I think and the boiled cabbage. And it was dark green. I don't know what sort of cabbage it was, but it was dark green. It was almost black always. So yeah, but school dinners, I'd say overall nice smells. Name one achievement you're proud of in your life. Well, my dance qualifications. I'm qualified in the most dance subjects of anyone the world over. So, and professionally dance the most dance subjects as well, to like the highest level. So not now, but then. So yeah, definitely that. I've always had a job I enjoy. To me, dancing, I've done teaching, choreography for major shows, TV work, films, theatre. I've been both sides of that. So I've choreographed, I've been in, I've produced dancers, I did an agency as well. Everything and anything to do with dance. I've qualified a lot of people to become professional dancers and teachers and so on and so forth. So without that, yeah, that's played a major role in my life in many ways. Okay, next one. On what did you spend your first pay packet? Oh, I know this. I know this. It wasn't very much. I'm talking about proper work pay package, because let me first of all say that every school holiday, my mum didn't want me going over to friends and playing out with friends and all that. So she sent me to work with my dad, even from age 10, every school holidays. It might have, no, it was younger than that. It would have been 9, because I wouldn't even have been going to senior school, high school yet. So from about the age of 9, once you're sort of can look after yourself basically and not go, can we go home? That kind of thing. It was from about age 9, and every school holiday I had to go to work with Dad, and depending on my age, he would give me work to do at his office. And it was for 2 reasons. One, it was to help me progress faster in maths anyway, because he did all sorts of accounting, bookkeeping, those kind of things. And it was for a plumbing firm. So I remember the first jobs I had to do was go through the catalogue with all the pictures of U-bends and copper T-pipes, T-joins and whatever. And I had to count the invoice against the catalogue, like look up the same things, so I knew what was what the words were. So there would be the actual object on the invoice, the name of the item. Then I had to look in the book, and you had to tally up the size as well. You can't just go a copper tea pipe or whatever. You had to tally up the sides and had to check all the invoices off. So that was from about 9 how I would start. Then I'd be doing the accounts and tallying up what do you call it, like the invoices and all that, anything like that, which was good because it told me, one, I didn't want to ever work in an office, and two, I didn't want to do anything again in my whole life to do with numbers or anything like that. But the reason for that, goodness knows why, what Mum was doing all the time. The reason for that also would give me money. He would give me proper wage packets. So it all went through books, and we had the proper brown envelopes with the corners sticking out with money. I don't know if you guys have ever had that. It's like a proper wages brown envelope, and there's kind of the corner missing of the bit that's sealed, and you had the corners of the notes of money. And then what you did, you could count, you could see what your money was, and you had to sign it that you'd received the right amount before you took the envelope and opened it. Do any of you guys know that? So I had a proper wage packet, but I won't count that because that was holiday money and money for buying Christmas and birthday presents for the family. That's what it had to be used for. It wasn't to buy for yourself. So you couldn't save that up. That was your money to spend for Christmas, birthday, for friends and family, and for extra holiday money. So I won't count that as my first wage packet because that wasn't technically mine to use for myself. My first proper, like, official job wage packet, I went out and spent all of it. It wasn't a lot, but I spent all of it on every single member of my family, my nan, my granddad, my sisters, my mum, my dad, and I bought them all something out of it. I can't remember if I bought myself anything out of it, but it obviously wasn't anything substantial. If I did, it wasn't like, oh, this is from my first wage packet. No, I wanted to use it for other people. I don't believe I did buy myself something. I would know if I did. I just remember that I bought things for everybody else because I had my own money to spend, how I wanted to spend it, and that is what I wanted to do. So I think that's a lovely way to finish this one. And as I say, I've got one question I couldn't answer. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you? So I'm going to leave that on the desk here so I remember, and I'll probably add that to a Q&A later on, and let's see what that is. If you've got any questions for me, I love answering them. Please put them in the comments below. Maybe I'll join that to a Q&A with this question, and I'll give your channel a shout out if you ask me a question under this video. So thanks for being there, guys. Very much appreciated. And until next time, as always, Meraki.